Good evening, good morning, and welcome to the Fanatics of Film. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ben.
And I am Joe.
And as we are Fanatics of Film, we are also Fanatics of pretty darn good television. This intro was really, really cool. I actually, brand new intro. They've been changing the intro every few seasons to have it adapt to kind of the geographic location they are, etc. All these things. But this time it was kind of a graphic novel intro, which was so cool.
It was very good because usually I'm not a fan of long opening sequences. I find them to be they slow down the momentum of the story for me because now I'm so used to just. I think all TV shows should just have a quick, less than 30 seconds intro. So I have actually not watched the opening sequence to The Walking Dead
for a long time.
Since like season 2, I just skipped through
it. Okay, wow.
Yeah, because So this one actually caught my eye, and I was like, good for them. And I think they shortened the running time of it too, so it moved a lot faster, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I get anxious to get back into the story.
Yeah. The art was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It didn't tell any real specific story, so it's not glued on anything. But interesting here. So
it just captures the mood.
This is definitely not our most favorite Walking Dead episode, but I just had a couple of notes I wanted to kind of read here. So this is the death of Ken, the funeral there. This is the song that was sung there. Tis the last rose of summer left blooming alone. All her lovely companions are faded and gone. No flower of her kindred, no rosebud is nigh, to reflect back her blushes, or to give sigh for sigh. So soon may I follow when friendships decay, and from love's shining circle the gems drop away. When true hearts lie withered, and fond ones are flown, oh, who would inhabit this bleak world alone? So I don't know, I just thought they always find these really cool songs to put in there. I thought I really enjoyed that, kind of like a classic Irish song. So I don't know, but was Ken even in any previous seasons, or is he just a brand new character they used to kind of propel the plot forward? That's what it seemed like. So the biggest thing that's established here, at least from what I've seen, is that our original core group of 10, 11, or 12 people, or however many people there were, and that's always fluctuating, is that all of them are separated to try for the greater good, because they don't trust these other people. They don't trust these other people, so they have to spread themselves out into these different sectors of the land to create this new government and everything. So that's the essence of this season. It's going to be, at least so far, it just seems like they're all separated, and so they're going to cherish moments that they can spend together because they're left having to lead their own areas.
Yeah, I was underwhelmed.
You didn't. It
was just an underwhelming episode. Boy, not a lot happened besides just establishing the fact that it's just going to be an internal power struggle between these group of used to be friends. Which
is kind of, I mean, I'm not a fan of this, but lots of cute babies and lots of zombies in this episode.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
Not as many zombies as I would normally like to see. So sometimes The Walking Dead has a tendency to do talkie episodes, and while talkie episodes can be good, sometimes the dialogue of their talkie episodes is not so good. So I was just underwhelmed by this episode. I thought after the really good season finale that we had this last spring.
Yeah, and what a season. But last season was awesome.
But that went out with a bang. This came in with a whimper. I mean, there were some nice moments, but overall, to me, it was just really underwhelming. Especially the kid who, spoiler alert, the kid who goes back to save the horse gets bit. I was just like,
that was really...
Yeah, he's gonna die. That's what he's for. He's cannon fodder. We got to have somebody die on this episode by zombies.
Ken was his name. The guy that had the funeral. Yeah, it was a shame because it was just a plot device to propel everybody. Exactly. It was to bring everybody together.
It set up motivations for the turn of events against Maggie.
Okay. Yeah, I can see. That's right. You're right. Yeah, because Ken's parents are the ones who are disgruntled.
Yeah.
And so they have that whole thing. So Daryl ends up being the one who is taking care of the sanctuary. This scene was actually hilarious. This is great. This moment here,
evolution,
the evolution,
and then
that was actually really funny.
Commenting on the evolution.
That was actually really, really funny. The evolution. He said something like, "Not a great." She says something like, "Not a great picture." Yeah. It was cool to see her kind of normalized
for like this one. That's another thing. Boy, they introduced a lot of the characters back real quick, only to just pretty much stick with what's happening with Daryl, Carol, Maggie, and Rick and Michonne, and it was just like, I don't know if you're going to throw us back into what's been happening in the establishment. Excuse me, the establishment of these communities. I want to see more of the communities and what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I found it interesting because like they trickled in people as like the whole scene with the glass floor and the zombies below it, and them having to take this giant carriage down and almost break the floor. That was that was fun. But that whole beginning sequence.
Yeah, moments like that, moments of survival, are really good. I always liked one of the reasons why I liked reading the comics, and why I liked this was because I liked how they portrayed society after it had fallen to the zombie apocalypse. So there were a lot of good bits of this episode I enjoyed, and that was certainly one of them.
Of course, the moment we are still Negan. Maggie and Rick talk about this later, or it may have been Michonne and Rick talking about it, and they were saying if he, they were questioning, should we have killed him? Michonne said specifically.
That was Michonne.
Michonne said specifically, like, should we have killed him? And then Rick was like, if we had killed him, there would still be someone saying, we're still Negan type of thing, and playing this on that. So that was interesting, but oh yeah, and the election, that was kind of a funny moment. Michonne is saying democracy from that guy, from Gregory. So it was Gregory's idea to have the election. He thinks it's been rigged. And that's just Gregory's just such an idiot.
Oh, he's always going for a power play. I'm surprised he lasted this long.
Yeah.
I have pretty much wanted him to die. No offense to the actor. He's a very good
he's a great
character actor. You see him in he's always dependable, but he's really good at playing an ass. And ever since Gregory popped up on the show, I've just been waiting for him to die. And I'll tell you what, kind of a satisfying moment in this episode.
Yeah.
Because that guy can suck it.
And the kids watched it happen. The kids run out and watch it happen. That was kind of frustrating. They're trying to just get rid of the kid.
At this point, I got to be honest with you. In that world, I don't know why they even still try and shield kids from this stuff. They're because they just end up seeing it anyway.
Yeah. It's like, why do you... Yeah, it's like... Yeah.
We're constantly surrounded by death, kids. They've gone to sleep. They were really, really tired.
Yeah.
Just tell them. I mean, wasn't it just a couple last season when they were training the kids to be killers? I know, they're trying to establish some normalcy, but it'll never happen.
Carol did that.
Post-apocalypse.
Carol did that, and it was kind of a funny... Oh, interesting. Another interesting moment, which was Carol and Ezekiel are together now, which is cool. I thought that was actually really cool.
Because I always thought that there was something between her and Daryl, and I guess there is, but it's more like a brother and sister thing.
I'm always reminded, since you mentioned that, I will never forget it. That's, for some reason, there's these moments of the early seasons of Walking Dead are burned in my brain, and it's like season 2, I think it's season 2, actually it might be even season 1, where Carol and Daryl are just hanging out, sitting in a tree, and she's like, or sitting somewhere, and she's just like, "You want to make out?" That's what she says to Daryl. I remember that. I'll never forget that scene because it was just such an awkward moment, and Daryl's just like, "No thanks." He just didn't say anything. He just drove off. But it was just a funny moment how she was kind of hitting on him at that point. But yeah,
it always seemed like to me that there was a flirtation between the two, and maybe it's because Daryl just didn't act on it, or maybe they have a more what do you call that when you're siblings? Maybe they just have more of a sibling type relationship, platonic. But that was I don't mind that she's dating the King. I like the King. He's pretty cool. He's the voice of Cyborg on Teen Titans.
And they had oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't. And they had a funny moment because they were talking about the Constitution, because this whole thing started. The whole Constitution Charter thing happened because Michonne was in this. It's this very moment. They're in this Capitol thing, and she sees a perfect union. She sees this. I think it's just literally just like an encased document that's just on the wall or something talking about the perfect union, you know, and so that she's the one who comes up with the charter at the end of the episode. So the weirdest part of this episode was the very end, and it's a conversation between Maggie and Rick. And Maggie's just basically saying, "Okay, I was a follower." You know, I'm paraphrasing, but she
said,
said,
"I'm not following you anymore.
You're following me."
Yeah.
I mean, she basically is saying, "I'm taking over.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the. You know, I'm going to be. You know, you got to step down." So, I guess that's within her character, or is it? What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
She's been slowly making this transition ever since she thought when she and Glenn were
was
separated, and she had to find her way back to him, and then when he was killed. So ever since then, she's just been. When we saw it in the season finale, that was, I guess, the season finale was really good, but that one moment where it gave you a hint of what was to come with the internal strife and it's like, yep, no matter what you do in this show, people are always going to be just the worst.
It's like, and it's like, I mean, they're giving her reasons, you know, because they have the, you know, they're still providing goods, they're still providing goods and services to the saviors, even though he's like, we're not obligated to them, we shouldn't have to, type of thing, and Rick is just like, we should. And so you know, when you conquer an area and you don't kill everybody, you know, you have to take care of them.
Yeah, this mob mentality thing is kind of odd to me because they followed Rick for so long, even though he's made lots of mistakes, and yet he lets Negan live. And okay, now we're fed up. Now he's done. We're not following him anymore. Like
after
the whole
all that,
conspiracy.
yeah, it's
kind of feel like they're a bunch of ingrates. I'm looking at you, Daryl.
like they've learned nothing.
Yeah, like wow, just how easily people change and sway.
Well,
It's so, but that's television drama. That's why The Walking Dead does have a sort of soap opera element to it.
Yeah.
But the comic book, its source material did too. That's what kept you coming back issue to issue. That's what keeps you coming back for this, is the relationship between the characters. So it's going to take frustrating turns. You know, it's kind of, I find myself as I'm getting older, I get frustrated by every time a hero in a superhero show gets caught by the villain, and the villain has to give their whole "I gotcha" thing, you know, and the twirl of the mustache.
And here's my whole plan.
I get so far because I'm just like, oh man, I don't want the bad guy the good guy's gonna kick your ass. When's it gonna happen? Happen now. But that's part of the storytelling.
Yeah.
You have to go through that. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to see which direction they go in this season.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I mean, I think the one that sells it for me a little bit on Daryl is their conversation, because Daryl isn't letting go of Rick entirely, of course, yet. I mean, it obviously seems like
but
Maggie
he's in agreement with Maggie that he shouldn't be in charge.
Right. But that's what I'm pointing out, is that he's a little bit sold, and he sold me a little bit in the sense that he's saying, I miss the good old days. I miss the way it was, because we could. He said specifically, we could do anything then, because it was just us. It was just a few people.
Well, they could do anything, but then those people that they were doing anything with kept dying. So
and those
I was confused by that.
Yeah, and those people that could do anything with also were threatened by other people who could do anything they wanted. So, when you have a small group, you're going to have other small groups, and that's the thing, is that, and they've said this many times on the show, is that there's strength in numbers with the zombies, there's strength in numbers with the people. So. It's like they finally have achieved what they've kind of been wanting to do this entire time, and they're ready to just throw it on the chopping block.
It was interesting to see how far they actually went outside of Atlanta or outside of Georgia this season in this episode, where they go to, they're in the capital. Yeah, so they're in Washington, D.C., but I thought that was really cool that they were able to finally kind of show a little bit more of the country, what's happened. I don't follow the Fear of the Walking Dead, so I don't know what's happening on the West Coast. I don't care, but to see what's happening there outside of Georgia, which is where the entirety of the show is basically ran, it's nice to see different locales.
I think it's
an iconic one like that.
I think it's funny that they traveled so far, because that's far. If they're still all in the Georgia, Atlanta area, that's a long haul to drive to. By foot or by horse and buggy to
Yeah.
That's like a
using
6 month.
here.
That's like a 6 month trek, like each way. Like that's a lot. Well, maybe not that long, but I don't know how long that would take. That would take a long time. Yeah, I mean that's a long way. That's a long way.
Seems like they got back pretty quick, though. Seems like it didn't take them very long to get back.
I mean, of course they're going to cut that. They're going to cut that time.
Sure.
But it's apparently they traveled a long.
Apparently, not a lot happened on the journey back. That's 3 states that they crossed over.
Yeah, that's a long haul to do. Especially they weren't driving. I mean, they all have cars, but they didn't take any cars. They just took the horses.
Yeah.
So that's another funny point. It's like, why didn't they take cars if they're going to go?
Because
they needed
the kid. They needed the kid to get killed, so that they could lead to the
and the kid to get killed, a plow to break the plow, and
they needed the plow, but they didn't get the plow, right?
Well, they did. Oh no, they brought it back. It just broken. It broke on the way right here.
And then the kid gets killed, saving the horse.
Yeah.
From the zombies. Dude, I love animals too, but at some point you just got to say, forget the animals. Let's get out of here.
Well, it actually made me think of my dream. I want to see a horse zombie. I mean, we haven't seen any animal zombies yet, or have we? I'm sure we've seen it in some.
You rarely see it in action in zombie movies.
Yeah, and it's like, why would they be immune to this? This thing. I wouldn't mind seeing a zombie horse.
I think the typical answer is because it's a human virus.
But what if a zombie bites a horse? It wouldn't spread to the.
But what it comes down to it is it'd be too expensive to have every animal.
Yeah, it'd just be expensive.
Attacking everybody, because then your house cat would turn on you and your gerbil, and that would. Lemming, but the lemming would be easy to deal with because they would just kill themselves anyways. That's what lemmings do. But that's probably birds. Birds would be attacking you left and right. That would be crazy. You never really see that too much. And it's probably just for cost reasons, if anything else.
And I'll say it one more time. They shouldn't have told us that Rick was leaving, man. If they were going to kill him in this season, none of us would know. And we would all be, when we saw him die, it would be devastating and amazing, and it would be just incredible to see happen.
Spoiler. I'm really surprised when he announced that. I was like, why are you telling everybody?
They should have killed him and had it be this like crazy thing that happens that freaks everybody out, and it would it would break the internet if that happened, and they didn't know ahead of time. They would have had insane things. Oh my gosh, they killed Rick!
There certainly would have been a big reaction. That would have been extremely.
People be pissed. People be pissed off, and then people would just love it, and it would just be.
There would be a reaction.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a damn shame that they spoiled that. It's
really weird that they did that.
Anyway, so this episode not the best. Still
was happy at the end though. I don't like Gregory, so
yeah, you like seeing Gregory get hung.
We won't have to deal with that guy anymore.
I'm glad we got to see Gregory hung off of a horse, because that's the best way to hang someone is with a horse running away.
Well, I was hoping for a crucifixion, but
yeah.
Because the thing is, man, is that guy, you keep a guy like that around, I mean, all he's ever going to do is just
be a bastard. He's just going to be a bastard.
And it's just going to get worse. Frankly, I'm surprised that they let him live as long as they lived.
I know.
And that he was out walking around freely after the shit he pulled in the last season. Yeah. So it was really interesting, but it was very satisfying to me. Because, you got to have a character you love to hate. Sometimes you love to hate him so much, you can't wait till the character's dead. But I know that actor is going to have another gig lined up. It's not going to be a big deal for him.
He's been in a million. He's been in a lot of stuff. I've seen him. I think I could have sworn I saw him in a lot of '80s action movies. He's been
around good 30 years or so. So I'm sure he's probably got 2 other shows lined up. He'll be fine financially. So don't feel bad, because I don't feel bad. Gregory's dead, and I'm cool with that. That made me happy.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Are you happy Gregory's dead? Are you skeptical about Maggie? Do you believe her plight? Do you believe that what she's going through? Why she's opposing Rick and telling Rick that he's got to answer to her now? Do you like this concept? Do you like this idea, or do you think it's BS?
Is she going to be the new Negan?
Yeah, is she gonna? Yeah,
because she did the same thing when she did the whole putting Gregory in the news, and said, I don't want to have to do this. I don't enjoy this. Negan would always kind of do the same thing too. Like, you made me do this. I don't want to do this. So I just hope it goes somewhere better from here.
So anyway, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for watching. We are the Fanatics of Film. My name is Ben.
I am Joe.
And please give this video a thumbs up. You know, check out our next episode. We'll be doing them on pretty much on Monday nights probably. This might come out on a Sunday night here and there, but most likely it'll be coming out on a Monday night. Thanks for watching and have a splendid evening.